look, we'll crack on into the football action. There was obviously plenty that happened here as well, in fairness. And the big talking point was obviously the game between Galway and Derry. It finished Galway 2-14, Derry 15 points. I suppose a game overshadowed by Garrett McKinless's stamp on Damien Comer's ankle, which we'll certainly get to. But yeah, massive win for Galway. Back-to-back defeats for Derry in the championship for the first time since 2018. That's 7 games now against Galway in the championship that Derry have not won. And like, it was interesting because I was obviously at the Dublin and Kilkenny game when this was going on. So I was kind of looking online and everyone was sort of saying Derry are finished, Derry are gone. Watched the highlights back and I didn't think Derry were that bad. Like, they actually started quite well. Like, Galway actually never led in the game up until the red card. And even after McKinless's red card, I thought Derry fought their way back into the game very, very well. Like, they got themselves level with 8 points apiece. And even at the end, McGuigan has that chance to level the game up with the goal. Obviously, it's saved by Gleeson, and then it goes down the other end, and Cian Darcy gets the goal. But ultimately, massive win for Galway. But at the same time, it is a massive body blow for Derry, because it just feels like maybe the wheels are coming off a little bit on Mickey Hart's men.
It does, yeah. But Kevin Kennedy from the GA Sports Track Rap made a very good point as well about this game, saying that Derry, yes, it's a poor result for them. It's 2 losses in a row, but a lot of people seem to be pointing towards how bad Derry were, which probably wasn't the case. Like, look at a few stats from Stephen O'Mara, I think, on X earlier today, just to get a snapshot of the game, because I obviously didn't have time to do stats. I was at the Clare and Cork game, and according to him, Derry actually had more opportunities than Galway. So, like, in any other day, Derry could have got over the line, but it was just Galway deserved credit. Like, they got 2 wins in a row against decent opposition in Mayo and Derry and deserved it. And fair play to them for doing that. Like, Robert Finnerty again in the form is like Paul Conroy getting the man of the match award in this game on GA Go. Sean Kelly had a good performance from midfield. It was very interesting to see where would he actually be. They stuck him in midfield and he got a goal here. So maybe that's the position for him in future games later in the championship. Cian Darcy got a goal as well. Very good performance from him. Shane Walsh had a decent performance, and Damien Comer wasn't really in the game other than the McKinless sending off. But yeah, very good result for Galway. But for Derry, I wouldn't worry too much from a Derry point of view. Yes, it's 2 losses in a row, but they have a game now at home against Armagh, Celtic Park. They're then playing Westmeath. I'd imagine Derry should win them 2 games. Let's be honest. I think they should. So I think, and they will get to an all-out quarter-final. The question is, will they get to an all-out semi-final and eventually the final? We'll have to see the next few weeks. And they didn't become a bad team overnight, Derry. They're still a very good side. So people need to see that standpoint as well. And they're still open the reckoning from the other point of view. Moving on to the McKinless sending off. And I don't think this is an unpopular opinion, Aaron. It was stupid from McKinless. What on earth was he doing? Like, and to be honest, fair play to Brendan Cawley's assistant for actually spotting the incident. Because most officials actually wouldn't have seen it, but like, what was he actually doing? Like cameras all around you, GAGO cameras around you. We were going to get banned anyway. You seen what happened with the Colleen incident with Roscommon and Kerry a few weeks ago, and he got a bit of backlash. But that was just stupid. What's he doing? Seriously, and now he's banned for 2 games. 2 probably, like, the Armagh game is a crucial one to get Derry back on track in the next game. What on earth is he like? To be honest, and a lot of people have said this, but I absolutely agree with them. That is the most delicate part of your leg, and for McKinless to do that, if to be honest, who got on a spade, as Seamus Brady said last night, if that was done on a street in Dublin City or Cork City, he'd get arrested. So it's simple as that. It's just, it's really, really bad behaviour, and I think the authorities, will make the right decision in the next few days and stuff like that. But it was just absolutely needless for McKinless, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was scumbag behaviour. Like that's the only way to put it. And A2 says here, McKinless shouldn't be allowed to play again this year. Pure cowardice on a lad who's been hammered with injuries. Shameful stuff. And look, you see him take a look. He looks down. And like, Homer obviously gets substituted late on as well. Like, he didn't have the best game, and you can completely understand why, in fairness. Like, after that, like, completely stepping on his Achilles, and you could see, like, straight away, you were like, oh my goodness me, like, Like obviously, as I said, wasn't watching the game live, but when you saw the clip, you were like, oh, I hope he's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, from McKinless, just very, very poor stuff altogether. And you know, like if I was a Derry fan, I'd be absolutely fuming, because I think if he doesn't get sent off, I think there is a possibility Derry win the game. And that's not to take anything away from Galway. I just think Derry do have a better team, in my opinion, a better 15 than Galway right now. And look, Galway maybe would have done something. It's obviously all in hindsight, but I think he let himself down, he let the team down, he let the fans down, let Mickey Hart down as well, because you know, game plan goes absolutely out the window straight after that. In fairness, and I think the worrying part is like we've saw a lot of this in Gaelic games over the last couple of years. We saw so much of it, and like it never ever gets punished. Like you get a 2-game ban. I think according to the letter of the law, is what I'm hearing, is it's a 2-game ban apparently, and that's apparently what's looking likely as to what's going to happen. But like, sure, a 2-game ban does absolutely nothing. Like, he'll be back by the preliminary rounds if they're in there. He'll be back by the quarterfinals. And we've saw this on multiple occasions down the years where players are, you know, throwing out punches or whatnot. We had the Johnny Glynn incident in club championships last year, and absolutely nothing got done about that. So like, so many of these instances keep on happening, and the consequences are just not fitting the crime. And like, ultimately, like, it sets a bad example, because it makes it aware for other players that this is, you can do this and still play a couple of weeks later. Like, there needs to be an example set. And I do agree. Like, I think it should be 5-6 game ban minimum, I think. And that would see him out for the rest of the championship.
And the thing is as well, the 2 incidences that come to my mind as well that epitomised like tuggery and scumbag behaviour and things like that was the Tailteann Kelly incident against Damien. Coincidentally enough, Damien Comer with the eye gouge incident. He got 6 months for that. Paul Galvin with Owen Callaghan in the Cork and Kerry game for a fish hook into the mouth. I think he got banned for the rest of the championship for that. So something similar has to happen. And I think we're seeing these sorts of instances more often. Like, we seen it a few weeks ago with Cathal Heenan and Jason Foley. Like these won't stop until somebody in GA Congress actually says, you cannot do that. You need a substantial ban for this. And it would actually stop players from doing it. Because it's just like, he could have caused a serious injury to Comer there, and it's just so unfortunate. It was just needless as well. Like, and he's just like, I've seen actually Jason Foley actually got a serious injury, and he could have been if he got even more lucky, he could rule out for nearly the whole championship because of the incident with Colleen. So like, this could have been very, very serious for Damien Comer, and yeah, I just don't like this behaviour. I think it's really, really poor from McKinless. And to be honest, I agree. I think he should be banned for the rest of the championship for that. It's just poor behaviour. And if the GA are going to set an example for future players coming up through the ranks, they have to cut out this behaviour, because it's just wrong. It really is wrong.
It absolutely is. Yeah, it's just disgraceful, shocking, whatever way you want to put it, and it's not something we want to see. And as I've said before, like, what's it going to take for something to be done about it? Like, you know, something awful could have happened to Comer there. Is it going to be a player's ankle snaps, a player breaks his leg, or something of that nature before we actually sit up and go, okay, something actually needs to be done about this? And look, we won't know like the long-term effects with Comer. Like, he carried on playing, but sometimes you don't know really until the game stops and everything else. You get treatment until you actually see what happens. But look, we do have to mention Galway. Like, I mean, in fairness, it was a massive win for them. Like, Paul Conroy was outstanding with 3 points, Rob Finnerty with 4 points, John Daly I thought was very good at centre back with 2 points as well. And like, for Galway, like, are they peaking at exactly the right time now? Because they beat Mayo, they've obviously beaten Derry now as well. And like, I think most people would look at Dublin, Kerry, and Derry as the 3 front runners. But like, outside of that, you've got a couple of teams knocking about. And like, if Galway can carry on this momentum and win their group, like, getting to an All-Ireland semi-final, I think, is very possible now for this Galway team.
I think it is. And they have Westmeath next. Probably should win that. And then they have Armagh, and they have a lot of demons to correct in that Armagh game. And I think they look at their form at the moment, they look in a very good state to do that. Matthew Tierney's in very good form, but even Cian Darcy coming onto the pitch. Exactly. But yeah, Galway, they have some very good players on the field, like Matthew Tierney coming back. You've Damien Comer there as well. You've Shane Walsh doing well, like Paul Conroy. Like, you have some excellent players in that Galway team, and they're only going to get better once more players come back into the team, like the likes of Killian McDade, John Marrigan's a bit more fitness, Kieran Malloy as well, Killian McDade. Like, there are some excellent, who I should say, Dylan McHugh from wingback. I do think Galway have some excellent players all over the field. The Conor Gleeson's gaining a bit more confidence as the games have gone on as well, epitomised that by that save later on. And I think that winning point against Mayo would have brought him on a fourfold especially. So I think Galway are in a very good place at the moment. They look at a good state. And to be honest, I think they peaked too early last year. They're peaking at the right time now. And they'll be a serious bet for anybody in the All-Ireland Series coming down the track. So it's a good time to be a Galway fan at the moment.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And as you said, yeah, it seems like the complete opposite from what we saw last year, where they were so good in the league, so good in the early part of the group stages. And now they're, their best two performances, I think, of the year have come in their last two games, which is very impressive stuff. Other game, Kerry 24 points, Monaghan 1-11. This was kind of mad to see. Like, Kerry were, I think, 15 points to 2 up at half-time, 13-point gap at half-time, an absolute whitewash. Like, Conor McCarthy had that early chance in terms of a goal for Monaghan. If he takes that, maybe it could have been different, but yeah, it was just it was so comfortable from Kerry. Tom O'Sullivan outstanding with 3 points. Paul Gainey, I thought, had a very good game as well. Monaghan, though, like, goodness me, like, this was very, very poor stuff. Like, considering they didn't play for 6 weeks, and I know maybe some people were saying it was a lot. It was too long of a layoff, and like, maybe it affected them and everything else. But like, that first half performance, like, that's as bad as I've seen Monaghan, I think, potentially ever, to be honest.
It was really, really poor. And to be honest, like, Monaghan, they've been a brilliant county over the last few seasons, but it seems like the talent is starting to dry up now. And it probably shouldn't be, because they have had very good minor teams up through the ranks. They won they got to the All-Ireland minor final last year. They were very close against Cork a few seasons ago in the minor championship at the quarterfinal. That was the Cork team that went on and won the All-Irelands. So, like, there should be talent coming through the Monaghan team, but it just doesn't seem to be coming to fruition right now. And it seems like the younger players are just coming in, but the older players are starting to slowly but surely retire. And it's just an unfortunate sign for this Monaghan team, and it is really sad to see. And it was sad to see, actually. The halftime score 15 points to 2, and it was almost like, close the barriers here. It's just like, close the gates. Like, Kerry are absolutely whitewashing him here, and it is really, really a noting event more than anything. I think Kerry franchise put up a photo as well of the actual attendance in Killarney. It didn't seem like a championship game at all, and it was between two All-Ireland semi-finalists last year. It was just a poor watch, really. And obviously, Kerry aren't at fault. They have to only play what's in front of them. David Clifford had a decent performance as well. Mayo had with 5 points. Sean O'Shea did as well. Tony Brosnan scored 2 points as well, considering he played very few football before the Clare game. He's now scored 5 points in 2 games from play. He's done really, really well in them 2 games. But you'd worry about Kerry in some standpoints that, number one, the goals that they're conceding. That's 3 championship games now. They haven't scored a goal, and they've conceded 3. Would that be a worry for Jack O'Connor? And they conceded another goal chance as well early on the game. And they conceded a goal chance against Clare. They conceded another 2 against Cork. That's a worry that sides like a Dublin, like a Mayo, would actually notice that from a Kerry point of view, and would actually go for their throat. And that's a worry, in my opinion, for Jack O'Connor's team. But it's only a slight worry. I think the bigger worry from a Kerry point of view, though, is they're facing Meath and Louth in the next 2 games. Are they realistically testing the next 2 games? No. So they're going to the quarterfinal very, very undercooked. And with their defence being leaky against the so-called weaker opposition, I just think it's a worrying sign for Kerry. There's no doubt they have the talents. They have David Clifford, Sean O'Shea, Tony Brosnan's playing really well, so is Paul Gainey. But it just, these little stats, they're very, very worrying from a Kerry point of view. I don't know what you think yourself, Aaron, but yeah, good win, 10-point victory, comfortable as he gets. Next game for Kerry up against Meath. Bring it on for them.
Yeah, I think it's 9 goals conceded now in the last 8 games in both league and championship for Kerry. And yeah, in that time, I think they've scored 1 or 2 goals or something of that nature. So it's been very worrying, yeah, or not very worrying, but slightly worrying, I think, for Jack O'Connor's men, in fairness. And definitely a lot for them to work on in regards to that. But like, I do think Louth and Meath will give a tougher test to Kerry than Monaghan, but I do think ultimately it still will be quite comfortable for Kerry. Like, Kerry obviously going away to Meath and Park Tailteann. It depends really. Like, Meath could maybe, like, I look at what Clare obviously done to Kerry, and maybe that could be a similar game. Louth are obviously in decent form at the moment as well. So, like, I'd imagine Kerry will win both of those two games fairly comfortably. But will it be as easy as this game? I'm not entirely sure. But that doesn't remain to be seen, in fairness. And obviously another game that happened, Clare 1-11, Cork 1-13. Yeah, massive result from a Cork perspective. Obviously, we both predicted Clare to have won the game. Like, it was looking, Cork went 1-5 up to a point after 18 minutes, and Cork were looking quite comfortable. But then Clare obviously battled their way back into it. And from what I've heard, obviously with very little coverage of this, in fairness, but from what I heard, like, Clare made this very, very tough, and it was sort of hearts and mouths, type stuff at the end of the game.
Well, yeah, we actually had stats in the game as well, and I did cover as much as possible on social media if you haven't checked it out already. Yeah, but yeah, it was absolutely. It was really, really. It's the life of a Cork football fan. They take it to the well and back, and it looked very comfortable in the first half, but it's the same similar situation as the Louth game in the league and the Cavan game in the league. Only this time we won the game, but we didn't take our chances. Like, I don't know, we had a load of goal chances in this game. Sean Powter took one there, granted, but Chris O'Jones had a goal chance, kicked it wide. Brian O'Driscoll had a goal chance, hit the bar. Daniel O'Mahony hit the post. Like, there was a load of chances that Cork missed, and it was really, really poor from their point of view. 51% isn't good enough to face against Tyrone and Donegal in the next few weeks. 27 shots, 14 taken. Not really good enough from a Cork point of view, and they have to improve on that. And what I was most worried about was the free taking. Brian Hurley was on it. I think Maurice Shanley took a mark as well in this game. And we actually had 7 place balls. We only took 3. So if you're going to face against Donegal and Tyrone, you need to take those chances. And there was one chance where Brian Hurley was, I think, really, really close in on the goal, out of his hands. Somehow kicks the ball wide. And I put it down as a score. It was almost like it was obvious it was going to go off the bar, but kicked it wide. And I just think it was kind of a lapse in concentration thing. And we can't do that against Tyrone and Donegal. And that's the end of that. But from a Clare point of view, they gave it their all. They really did. Like, Ike Uguaru performed absolutely brilliant from wing back, and he was running at that Cork defence. Like, it was very, very, very hard to stop him. Emma McMahon did very well in the frees. 5 frees, 5 taken, 7 frees overall, 7 frees taken. So Clare took their chances, and Cork really didn't. So that's probably what kept Clare ticking in this game. Dermot Coughlin, as mentioned, had a good game. Aaron Griffin took his goal really, really well. There was questionable Cork defending in that standpoint, but Clare really put it up to us. It was a level game at some point, but then Tommy Walsh gets a crucial score down the other end, and then Mark Cronin gets that insurance point, which I put up on my Twitter account if you haven't checked it out already. Really good point just to finish off, the kill off the game. So good point from him. But then again, like, there was balls going into the square. It was just manic, and Cork just got over the line in the end. I think the players themselves would have been disappointed with the performance in this game. It won't be good enough to beat Tyrone and Donegal, but they beat Clare. They're probably in a preliminary quarterfinal or a quarterfinal if we win our games, if we play our cards right. So good win, get points on the board, but the performance wasn't really good from a Cork point of view, and tougher tests will come in the next few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, like, it went down to the absolute war, no doubt about that. And I suppose from a Cork point of view, like, delighted with the win, I'd imagine. And look, at the bare minimum, you get to 3rd place. But obviously, when you look at some of the potential 2nd place teams that could be going through there, like, it could be tough for Cork. But weirdly, like, I would give you a massive chance against Tyrone, because I do think Tyrone are very flaky, and Cork do always raise their game against bigger teams. So I do think it's more than possible from a Cork perspective there. The other game was Mayo 20 points, Cavan 1-8. Yeah, very comfortable here from a Mayo perspective. Like, they were 5 points up before Cavan's first point in the 14th minute. Ryan O'Donoghue with 7 points, Killian O'Connor with 4 points there. Oisin Brady took over the mantle from Paddy Lynch on the frees, and he slotted 5 points. So, yeah, look, I suppose Cavan without Paddy Lynch always going to be a massive ask, and yeah, very comfortable for Mayo.
Yeah, and to be honest, the most impressive stat from a Mayo point of view, Killian O'Connor scored 4 points for play. When was the last time that happened? Really
Yeah.
good performance from him. Yeah, it's a
his first championship start in a while as well, I think.
And what a way to do it. What a way to get your name on the board. Very good performance from him. Matthew Ryan had a good performance. It was all overall a very comfortable day at the office for Mayo. The Cavan, look at their scores. They only scored 1-4 from play. Really not good enough to go on and win the game. But to be honest, what more could you expect from Cavan? Paddy Lynch injured, that's a big loss for them. It always was going to be a big loss, but I think they will be quietly targeting that Roscommon game in the neutral ground in match day 3. I think that's the major one where they would target a win in that one if they are going to get any win. But from the Mayo point of view, very, very comfortable. Obviously, this game wasn't live. There was very few highlights in the game as well. I could only go off match reports and stuff like that. But well done to Mayo to get over the line. I think they'll beat Roscommon the next day out as well. So yeah, Mayo going along nice enough. Good result to get after the Galway defeat. But from a Cavan point of view, wasn't really their best performance. And to be honest, with Paddy Lynch injury, what more could you expect?
Yeah, absolutely so. And yeah, like it was comfortable for Mayo in fairness, and it is going to be tough for Cavan to get out of that group, especially when you've got Roscommon and Dublin obviously still to come up as well. We'll go through the games in the Tailteann Cup. So in Group 1, we had Waterford, who unfortunately got beat by Kildare. It was 5-15 to 6 points. But I think the other standout game, Longford 17 points, Leitrim 2-12. Leitrim getting over the line just about. And if we look at the table as how it stands there, and all these league tables, by the way, are provided by @GA League Tables on Twitter. Very good account. Seeing they hit 30,000 followers over there as well today. So fair play to them. But this is how the table looks. So Kildare and Leitrim both on 4 points, both through. And it will basically be Longford and Waterford who will play each other in the decider next week for who gets the third place. So yeah, like I suppose Kildare winning, fairly predictable that, but Leitrim, massive win for them, 2 wins from 2.
Yeah, it was a big win for Leitrim actually against a decent Longford team away from home. They got a crucial goals at crucial times of this one. Obviously, Barry McNulty with 1-4, very good performance from him. Ryan O'Rourke as well from centre forward excelled, so good result for Leitrim to get, and they're in the quarterfinals. The preliminary quarterfinals at least now. They play Kildare just to decide who will be in the quarterfinal. As for Kildare, look, we said at the start of the Tailteann Cup, if Kildare took this competition seriously, if they embraced this competition, they are one of the best teams in it, and they just proved that way. Niall Kelly scoring 1-3 in this. Paddy Woodgate had another good game as well from the forward line. So good result from Kildare, but expected really. But from a Leitrim point of view, really big win against a decent Longford side. And now Longford, look at the score difference. It doesn't look like Longford will make it out of the group, which is quite disappointing from Paddy Christie's point of view.
Yeah, no, absolutely so. Like especially after such a heavy defeat, and obviously it does. I suppose to remind people how it works. Like the top 2 go through, but then it's the best third place teams, and it's the best 3 third place teams from all the groups essentially there. So it's not looking good there from a Longford perspective, even with a win against Waterford. But they do have a chance to rectify their score difference there. In fairness, Group 2, it was Tipperary 1-12, Sligo 3-22. Fairly very comfortable win there for Sligo, and Antrim just about got over the line against Wexford. Big win there for Antrim going away to Wexford Park. Group looks like this. So you've got Sligo with 4 points, Antrim with 4 points. A lot of these groups are kind of very similar. So yeah, Sligo and Antrim both through, and it will go down to Wexford and Tipperary next week to decide who progresses as the third place team. But yeah, huge win there for Antrim.
Yeah, big win, huge. I didn't expect Antrim to actually go down to Wexford Park and get a win, but fair play to them. Ryan McQuillan scored 5 points, which was an exceptional performance from him. Craigan's Roy McCann. There is 2 Roy McCanns in the Antrim team. It's quite confusing, but it was the Craigan version that got the goal for Antrim, so very good finish from him. And yeah, it was a difficult defeat to take from Wexford point of view, but they only have to beat Tipperary and they'll get third place because their score difference is much better than that of Longford's. But as for Sligo and Tip, yeah, comfortable win for Sligo. Niall Murphy and Sean Carabine scored a combined 3-9 in this one, so it just shows you there. Still Sligo's key players and very good performance from them, but Tipperary football, it's a never-ending story, isn't it? How far they've gone back, and even in Thurles, they couldn't even put up a test really to Sligo, which is quite a sad sight to see from a Tipperary point of view.
Absolutely, yeah, it certainly is. It's mad to see how the tables have turned in the last couple of years there. Looking at Group 3, Carlow 13 points, Fermanagh 113, and Laois just about getting over the line there versus Wicklow 11 points to 10. That was obviously the feature game on the Sunday game last night. And Group 3 looks like this. So Fermanagh are through with 4 points. Still a little bit to play for there with Laois, Carlow and Wicklow. You've obviously got Wicklow versus Carlow next week in terms of the decider for third place. Maybe Carlow can still pull it off in fairness and get second place. But yeah, I suppose big win for Laois just about against Carlow.
Yeah, big win for Laois. Yeah, big win for Laois. Evan O'Carroll getting 4 points at this one. Probably the deciding factor was the Kevin Quinn sending off for Wicklow. Looking back at the replays, it probably was the right decision. But to be fair, Wicklow really put it up to Laois, even down to 14 men. So good performance from them, but ultimately a very good win for Laois in Aughrim, Fortress Aughrim as it's most commonly affectionately called. So good win for Laois there. And as for Fermanagh, Carlow, Fermanagh just got over the line, but it was a difficult assignment to go down to the Watch Cullen Park and get a win there, so they did that. So fair play to Fermanagh for doing that. Conor McShea getting the goal, and even Josh Arguellis, Shea Cullen and Johnny Cassidy all hit 2 points from defence. So good display from Fermanagh. And again, like Kildare, we said at the start of the season in the Tailteann Cup, if Fermanagh took this competition seriously, they're a major threat, and it proves to be that way. And they could be even going onto a route to a semi-final, because they look really good at the moment for Fermanagh.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was London 10 points down, 124, and it was Limerick 210, Offaly 8 points. Group looks like this, down with 4 points there through. London and Limerick both with 2 points, and Offaly are bottom and are pretty much out at this stage because they're playing down on the final day. So yeah, what on earth is going on with Offaly? Like, goodness me, like they've absolutely fallen a mile off. Like,
and rub more salt in the wounds, aren't they? Are definitely out because they can't catch Limerick at London either. I don't think anyway. So
yeah, no, they can't actually, regardless of the results. Yeah.
So they're gone. Wow. Yeah, it's just like it's hard to comprehend from an Offaly point of view, because like with such great underrated success, the likes of Keith O'Neill, Jack Bryant, Cormac Egan, Lee Pearson, Declan Kelly there as manager, it's just so unfortunate the way things have unravelled so quickly from an Offaly point of view. And I don't know how they're going to fix it next season. It's going to be, and they even had a very good poor league, if you remember correctly. Like they finished like sixth in Division 3 as well, barely staying up. So like it was a poor season from an Offaly point of view all around. But I will gain a bit of pride in this, because I actually said Limerick would win this game, and they did. So fair play to Limerick to go on and win it. And what I would say as well, that ended a 13-game losing streak from a Limerick point of view. So it's a huge win for Jimmy Lee's men. And to win it by 8 points as well is a massive win. Emmett Richter scored 2 goals from midfield. Definitely has potential in the team. And to be honest, they did show some signs of potential against Cork in the Munster Championship, some against Down, even though they lost quite heavily in that one. But to beat Offaly by 8 points has stamped their authority back in contention now. It's great to see actually London and Wicklow, or London and Limerick, probably most likely making the preliminary quarterfinal, which is absolutely great to see. So great win for Limerick point of view. But as for London, look, it was a bad result to take from the game against Down, but the fact they won by 14 points keeps them in the hunt. So that's a good sign from a London point of view. And London Limerick should be an interesting game next day out. But from a Down point of view, again, like Fermanagh, Kildare, these sorts of teams, if they took it seriously, they're going to romp home. And I think, to be honest, Aaron, I think you've found your favourites in this competition. Sligo, Kildare, Fermanagh and Down. I think they're the 4 favourites to go on and win this competition.
Absolutely, yeah. Aidan was saying here, as a Down man, I'm scared that you predicted Down to win. Yeah, I think that was in relation to my prediction of Down winning the Tailteann Cup. So, yeah, look, I do tend to jinx teams. Unfortunately, it always happens. So, yeah, like unfortunately, Down probably won't win it now. Like I think I backed Cavan to win it last year and they didn't win it, and I backed Westmeath. Or I actually backed Cavan to win it in the last 2 years and they didn't win it. So, so there we go. Yeah, but look, at some point we'll have to get something right. So we'll see what happens. In fairness, but But yeah, I know obviously this has been a mammoth podcast, but in terms of Tyrone's under 20 All Ireland win, beating Kerry 120 to 114, I just wanted to give that a mention. Like Tyrone keep producing at underage level, like looking at Ronan Cassidy, Owen McElhone as well, looks a serious talent. So Tyrone keep producing.
Yeah, unreal performance from a Tyrone point of view. And Owen McElhone, I've said this for ages, looking at it at schools level, minor, under 20. This guy is very similar to Dara Canavan and Rory Canavan. I definitely believe that he's so good on the ball. 7 points from play in this under 20 final. He was the top scorer from play in the under 20 championship with 5 goals and 18 points. What a ridiculous tally. This guy seriously has potential. Ronan Cassidy, as you mentioned there, Rory McCullough had another good display as well. So did Shea O'Hare from wing back, and I think I don't know, it was in Boris Brosnan or somebody on X that mentioned this, or I think it was Lee Costa actually mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if Shea O'Hare actually gets selected on the Tyrone senior panel at wing back, because he's that good. He's a really good, energetic wing back from that Tyrone under 20 team. And the other wing back actually, Oren Brawley, is he related to Joe? I wonder. He might be actually. He might be.
I mean, Brawley is a rare enough name, I think, is it?
Yeah, and
I feel like you probably would have heard. There would have been some fuss about it, surely. Like Joe Brawley would have been in the stands or something. I think it's maybe just a coincidence or something else going on there that we don't know about.
Exactly, yeah. But what a win for Tyrone, and what a championship a journey for them, and had a brilliant campaign for the whole lot of the team. And they've won 220 All Irelands now in the last 3. There's a serious conveyor belt of talent coming from Tyrone, and they look a serious prospect over the next few years. But as for Kerry, look, they had a good performance in this game. Luke Crowley got a penalty to get them back into it. And Kerry, they still have serious potential to move on in the next few years. Like Cormac Dillon, the top scorer of this Kerry campaign, is only 19. You've Paddy Lane, only 18 years of age as well. So they still have room to improve in the next stage. Tomas O'Shea is their manager as well, and Brian Sheehan's in the backroom team. So there's still a lot of room to improve from a Kerry point of view. Eddie Eady and Daniel Kirby are very good from the middle of the park too. So yeah, I think Kerry have a lot of potential and have some very good players coming up through the ranks. So a good performance from them to get to the final of this competition. But Tyrone, they look a serious threat at some of them players, especially McElhone. McElhone looks a serious talent.
Yeah, he does. Like, you wonder nearly could Fergal Logan, Brian Dooher, like, could they even bring on McElhone, maybe even in, maybe not for the Donegal game, but maybe after that potentially for the Westmeath game. Like, could they bring a few more of those lads in fairness? But yeah, like, the conveyor belt keeps going. Like, they obviously won an under 20 All Ireland a couple of years ago as well. 2 years ago, I think it was. So like, they just keep on producing, keep on bringing through players. Like, whatever they're doing, they're getting it right. And 100% says, yes, there might be a few Tyrone lads leaving the panel and everything else, and obviously players retiring and whatnot, some lads getting older, but there's a huge amount of younger lads coming through. We've obviously saw it in the Tyrone seniors, Dara Canavan, I think Kieran Daly's been very good there as well, and now you've obviously got another bunch of lads there who could maybe make the breakthrough next year, if not the year after. So definitely a lot of positives there from a Tyrone perspective. In terms of moment of the week and player of the week, what would you lean towards?
Moment of the week. In football, I'm going to go for Limerick beating Offaly. First win in a 13-game losing drought. It's a brilliant victory for Jubilee's men, so I think that's going to be moment of the week. Player of the week, I'd probably have to go Cillian O'Connor. 4 points from play is really impressive. And I have to say that from his point of view. From a hurling standpoint, moment of the week, hard to choose because there wasn't much shocks, was there, this weekend? Yeah, it's a hard one to choose. I'd probably go Alan Connolly's hat-trick. Has to be. To get his third hat-trick in a matter of games is absolutely superb form. It definitely deserves a mention. And player of the week, I don't want to be repetitive and say Alan Connolly, so I'm going to go for someone different. I'm going to go for John Donnelly for Kilkenny. 7 points for plays, an impressive tally to get, so I'm going to go for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think in terms of moment of the week, I'd probably, I know Dublin hurling lost, but like the fact that we're so competitive in that game versus Kilkenny, I think was brilliant. Obviously follows on from the under-20s win and the minors winning as well. Like, just a very good weekend all around for Dublin hurling. Player of the week, yeah, I think John Donnelly's a great show, but I don't think you can look past Alan Connolly with a hat-trick. Like, he was absolutely outrageous there, in fairness. In terms of football, Rob Finnerty was very good. John Daly was obviously very good for Galway as well, in fairness. But yeah, I think Killian O'Connor, I think, is the perfect shout there, in fairness. And yeah, moment of the week, like probably Tyrone winning the under-20 All-Ireland. So many players making the breakthrough with Tyrone right now, or so many players coming through, which is interesting to see. So yeah, I suppose we'll go ahead and wrap this one up here. Anyone who tuned in, if you could hit the like button and subscribe, that would be great. Make sure to check out all of Matthew's socials as well, at the Gaelic Statsman on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and you'll find everything there. And anyone who tuned in, we very much appreciate that. And yeah, we'll speak to you all on the next one.